Welcome to this episode of the Million Dollar Mastermind. I'm Larry Weidel, and let's get started. We're here with Mical Pyeatt, and I've got a book to read now.
Oh, I tell you, it is, Larry, it's intense.
And how did you meet this guy?
This guy, he has two daughters and one son, and his oldest daughter was really good friends with my number three daughter when they were 5 and 6 and 7. And she'd come over and do sleepovers. And I always remember looking at her face. She had the shiniest face, just these bright, just crystal eyes, and she just, there's something special about her. And years later, they went to private school together and whatnot. And I would see this guy occasionally, at school functions. I'd say hi and, how are the Dodgers? And, we'd keep it small. And I stopped by his shop one day. He owns a sign company. And I stopped by his shop one day. I wanted to throw him a little business. So I went in and there's nobody there. And we sat down and we did our business for some stuff I wanted done. And I'm getting ready to go. And he said, I need to tell you my story. And I'm thinking, you need to tell me your story? Okay. It's Wednesday. I'm okay on Wednesday. Go ahead. I got a little time. Tell me your story. And he tells me this story. It took an hour. It took a good hour to tell me the story. And I walked out of there shocked. And that's Wednesday. And I thought about it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And on Monday morning, I came into the office and he's there in his overalls putting up the signage on the wall that I had ordered. And I had people coming into the office for their Monday morning managers meeting back in the day. And I walked up to him and I said, I'd like you to come in and talk to our managers meeting. And he said, why? I said, because I want you to tell them about how people can change, because we're in the people changing business. And he says, well, what do you want me to tell him? I said, the story you told me the other day of your life. And he goes, you want me to tell him that story? I said, yes, I do. And he came in there and told, I think, about 25 people. And I sat where I could watch him tell the story and the people respond. And from that day forward, I knew I was to get involved with this guy and help him get his story out. And that's when it started. That was 8 years ago this past August. And I'll tell you, the second book, like I said, will be 34 chapters of amazing stuff we went through to get this to production. Because it was an uphill battle, and I'm pretty aggressive. I'm pretty tenacious. And I keep with things and I stay after it, and I keep pounding it and I stay after it. And this was a rough deal. And once we got that out there, it's interesting because HarperCollins told us when we released the book, they said, we've been doing this a long time. We know what we're talking about. They said a good author, and he had never authored anything before, but they said a good author will be grateful if they get 1 or 2 good interviews. Well, we started off in Washington, D.C., and on the second day, we ended up on Laura Ingram's show live after doing a podcast with her. He's done about 250 interviews now so far.
Wow.
250.
250.
We got over 300 reviews on Amazon, and every one is a 5-star review. It's just, it is a solid story. And when you read it, you'll know why.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations, Mike. And so the thing is that, if you keep your mind turned on and you stay flexible, magic can jump out of the bushes and change your life just about any time, as long as you're alert. If you had been closed-minded, if you don't have time for this, or get back, let's set up a time, give me a call, I've got to run. But
you don't know how important I am.
Yeah, you don't know. You're just a sign guy, and I'm a big guy in financial services. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
And now we'll be on a call to Australia, where they're
God,
shooting a film right now with Liam Neeson. Matter of fact, the current film that's out by Liam Neeson called The Good Thief, Mark wrote it, produced it, and directed it. He really is. He's sharp, man. He really is good.
that's not
Yeah.
Mark Burnett, is it?
No, no, no. It's Mark
Yeah,
Williams.
Mark
You can look
Williams.
him up, and he got 18 Emmy nominations on their Ozark this year. I mean,
Wow.
he's one of those real creative guys that we're on the elevator with him. We're riding up with him. He's one of the hot commodities in Hollywood right now. So it's so much fun. I got to tell you, it's so much fun. I would really love to see Mel Gibson direct it. So I was asking her, I said, when this script is done, I'd like to see you send it over to Mel Gibson to get his take on it. I said, nobody does violence and redemption better than Mel Gibson. And she laughed. She goes, he and Mark are working on a project. He's in our office once a week right now. She goes, he'll get a copy. So
Wow.
who knows? I mean, I don't know. I just know nobody does violence and redemption quite as good as that guy. He's not the only guy, but who knows? You don't know what's around the next corner. It's life. And isn't it a blessing that we're here?
Absolutely.
Gosh.
Well, what a life, what a trip. And it shows that, we each have our own different path to go on, but it can be mind-blowingly great if we just kind of stay the course, and like you've had.
Like Art said, 98% of winning is working hard and being honest.
Yeah. And you've had to make this film and book project come together. You've had to take that same tenacity and apply that you did with the business, and so these things, these approaches are the things that separate people from the masses, and
right.
It's why it resonates, because it's real, and people that are looking for, and that's why I do the podcast, is because people who are looking for reality can tell when someone's telling them the real deal,
Sure
and so
that's why it was so important for us, because there's a number of instances that happened in this man's life and in his incarceration that had to be they had to be done in the book exactly the way they happened in real life. And they were. The book came out perfectly. And then we had to get that onto the script, because Hollywood wants to dramatize things, that.
right.
But these particular things that happened in his life had got to be exact in the movie the way they actually happened. Because people do know down in their gut whether it's true or not. We know. I don't know how we know. I just know that we know. And our BS meter goes up if it's not. And our other meter happens if we go, boy, this is a real deal. And I think if we can get this thing done, Larry, I swear, if we can get this thing done the way I see it, and I really do see it in a particular way, I think people will walk out of the theater and pick up their cell phone and call their friends and say, listen, you need to go see this movie. And they'll go, why? Don't ask me why, just go and stay for the whole thing. Don't leave till it's all done. Because I think people will be more impacted with this story than they've been impacted by any story in a long, long time. I think it has that kind of potential. The book is already in Spanish. Somebody bought the rights to put it in one of the Eastern Bloc Hungarian. I'm not even sure, but it's a timeless story. It won't be something that's in and out in the next few years. It'll be timeless. I think you'll be impressed.
Yeah, I already am, and I'm so happy for you to have this. And it is interesting. It's like where I do my photography, my painting, my other stuff. I've got the best-selling book myself, so the thing is, these doors you open to get you all fired up again creates energy that you bring back to your main business too.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it's rather than
Oh,
keep
yeah.
yourself on the grindstone, trying to keep myself excited about doing the same thing. It's like you can go and turn yourself loose to find, pursue other things you're curious about and find yourself a whole new vein untapped. It's kind of like a big reservoir of oil. You discover like there's 800 billion gallons of oil underneath Arkansas or something,
We get,
it's
we get so many emails and so many stories from people that have read this that tell us, let me tell you what happened in my life because of this. I mean, it's emotional. It
wow,
is probably the most emotional thing I've ever done other than have my kids. It's really powerful what it's doing.
unbelievable. Thanks so much, Mike. That's great.
Okay, buddy.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Million Dollar Mastermind with me, Larry Weidel. If I've helped you in any way, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. For more information like this, listen to our other Million Dollar Mastermind episodes and check out my Weidel Academy YouTube channel and visit us on WeidelOnWinning.com. I'm the Million Dollar Mastermind, and until next time, go, go, go.